Hello, welcome to the stream, guys. So, first of all, I would like to welcome everyone who is new to the stream. I know there'll be a few people who have come for the first time to the stream, and thank you so much for coming, first of all. And anyone who is not aware, I was recently invited to a really good seminar on experience wave. A few of my friends uh, from my previous company and my really good friends started their own company called Experience, where they train people about design, and they do some studio work as well. They're really good friends. Please check out Experience Wave to do a really nice certification on design thinking and how to become a UX designer. It is really helpful for professionals already working as well. So please go check out Experience Wave. They are friends of mine, Sheikh Murad and Almas Tasneem, the CEO and founders. Go check them out. All right. So today we are changing up the format a little bit. We'll be not sharing anything on the screen. Rather, I'll be talking about the topic directly to you, one to one. If you like this format, we will continue. Will depends on the feedback, and feedback is always taken positively in this channel. So let's start talking about today's topic, which is levels of processing in human brain. So there is going to be a quick introduction to the topic. In the book, Don talks about that this, first of all, is a gross oversimplification. This is completely not how human brain actually works. It's just a mental model that we have created so that we can use this for our purpose. But it works for us. That's what he says in the book. Uh, he says exactly, I'll quote, "This is a gross oversimplification of the actual processing. It is good enough approximation to provide guidance to understanding human behavior." So, with that in mind, we will go forward and understand. Also, I really recommend reading the other book, one of the other books, and really good books by Don Norman called Emotional Design. Please go check out that as well. Maybe someday we'll cover that book in the channel, but it's a really good tool to have. So, yes. All right. So, the three levels of human cognition and emotion. Cognition and emotion are coupled together and dependent on each other, because cognition and emotion together form a very powerful pair where you recognize what is happening and assign values to it. This is what we talked about in the last stream. If you are interested, go check that out. But this was the summary. Now, how does our brain do that? Is in three different levels according to this uh, section in the book. The three levels of processing are called reflective, behavioral, and visceral. I think a lot of us have heard about visceral. Uh, so let's start with that. Uh, in gaming, we say this is a very common term, a very funny term is called unga bunga. So, yes, there's a meme also called unga bunga noises to a response of a very intelligent uh, comment, or let's say a theory or something, and just in response you say unga bunga. In the game Elden Ring, we say strength builders to be the unga bunga players, because there is no brain to be used for those builds. You just press a button and win. So yeah, because it's a very primitive way of playing that game, and that is why they are called Unga Bunga builds. And this is this is exactly where Visceral level, uh, comes in. Uh, so the new system that I have been using are these index nodes. I had posted a community post, and this is what I'm referring to with the book itself. It's a little overwhelming for me to refer to the book exactly, and to have something on the screen all the time is also a little overwhelming for me. So I'm shifting to a more uh, manual way of doing things rather than using my iPad and Miro. Uh, Maybe we'll go back to Miro someday when we are sponsored. Okay, so what is the relation? The question here that I have written for this index, uh, if you can read this, is relation of visceral level with design, or why is aesthetic important? Is the index the first question that we are trying to answer? The answer to this, and this is how index are used, the question is written on one side and the answer is written on the other side. So yeah, the answer to this is visceral responses are immediate. That's why visceral responses are taken very fast. So it's an immediate perception of your environment. And this is why style matters. The appearance, the sound, or the sight, the touch, and the smell. This all comes under your visceral part of your brain. You look at these things immediately, and this is part of your visceral brain, so you completely recognize it faster than even you can think. And that's why visceral level has nothing to do with usability or effectiveness or understandability. Visceral is all about raw feelings. And by raw feelings, I don't mean emotions. This is the rawest part of your brain, and that's why it's called the lizard brain or the monkey brain. It has nothing to do with usability, it has nothing to do with effectiveness or understandability. It is all about attraction and repulsion. This is the most basic animal response to anything, attraction or repulsion. So anything that is aesthetic drives a visceral response. So that's the answer to the question. Now, the next question is, what is visceral level of human cognition and emotion? So, this is the most basic level of processing. As we talked about it already, it's the lizard brain part of our brain, what we make fun of sometimes, but it is in all of us. Uh, it is also part of our basic protective mechanism, the fight or flight mechanism that is very famous. It marks judgment about the environment very quickly and in a subconscious and automated way. Is very quick and automated. You do not have to think about this, and it is completely subconscious. And that is why learning something in the visceral level is very, very hard, because it is coded into your DNA technically. You cannot easily teach something to the visceral level because it is based on sensations or sensitization and desensitization. It is coded into us at a very core level. It is part of the adaptation or classical conditioning that we talk about. It is an immediate response to the present. It has nothing to do with history, it has nothing to do with past or future. It is completely about now. It does not care about context or history. That is the visceral level. All right. So the next question is, what is the relation between visceral level with body's musculature and emotions? So here in the book, we talk about how we know how we are feeling is sometimes observing our own body or others' bodies also. You see people tensing up, you feel tension in your own body, and that gives you a signal of how you're feeling. The butterflies that we talk about is also a musculature or a physical thing that we us have we that makes us understand what we are feeling like. You do not feel something and then you start feeling these bodily, responses. Sometimes you see these bodily responses and realize that you are in that state, like goosebumps, like butterflies, like tightening of muscles, like frown on your face. All this is connected to your body and your motor system. So tension is negative and relaxation is positive. Visceral are sensitive to current state. Scientists do not call these emotions, they are precursors to the emotions. They developed before emotions came into the picture. They are the forefathers of emotions in a way. They developed before emotions. So that's the answer. Now we'll go to the next section. What is the behavioral level of processing? This is the second level of human processing. So it is where this we store the learned skills, which are triggered by appropriate situations. Now, what this means is, like, you we have talked about this before actually. The cycling example or the bike riding example or learning to walk even might be come under this. But when you learn something repeatedly and you keep doing it again and again and again to learn it, it is stored in your behavioral level. And you recognize that situation a little subconsciously and recall this skill that you have stored by repeating it and utilize it. And how you do it is pattern matching with the situation and recollecting what to do using your behavioral level. Actions and analysis are largely subconscious, which means that what action you do and analysis of the situation is done subconsciously. So the pattern that you recognize is subconsciously done, and even the actions that you do are subconscious. But this goes into your subconscious because of the repeated practice, because of it is learned or even overlearned. If you want to know the definition of overlearned, you might have to go back to the last stream. If you want to, you want me to talk about it again, just leave a comment. We are largely unaware of the actions and the details because everything is too quick because you have already learned it and you just reproduce it very quickly. So it's like hitting a six while you're playing a cricket or hitting a shot while you're playing a cricket, a match, or all those, what else, tennis or playing badminton. I think everybody has played badminton. So I think you will relate to this, that these are responses that you just don't know and you just do right without even knowing, or wrong if you are still learning. So that's the difference. So behavioral level. So we'll talk about a few examples. This is the next thing on the card. What are the examples of behavioral level, in level of processing? I think I talked about a few of those examples, but let's talk about a few more. So the bodily movements, yeah. So when I think about picking this pen up or the pencil, I don't know how I picked it up. I just thought about it and I picked it up. Now I can do this. I don't know how I am doing this. I'm just doing this, and I'm not yet losing the pencil. And I take another one, and I take another one, and I take another one, and my hands are doing everything automatically. Like the adjusting of the movement and everything is done automatically, and the minor adjustments that I'm doing on the objects is unconscious. I don't really know how I'm doing it, but just I know I have to hold on to it. I have to just think about it, and my body automatically does it. So that is behavioral. Yeah. So those are a few examples. In the book, he talks about how you can take objects into your hands and not drop them. But let's say he talks about a mug. So you take a mug and you start putting pens in your hand from other sides, you will be able still not lose it. This is behavioral. But it becomes conscious when you put water and you're not trying to spill water. That is not behavioral. That is the next level. All right, before going to the next one, we have another question. What is critical aspect which can be used by designers about behavioral level? By the way, thank you for the likes. Uh, right. This one is a big topic. How can we use behavioral level in design? So every action in this state is associated with expectation. Expectations, negative or positive, is again coupled with the variance of the same nature, resulting in dread, hope, anxiety, and anticipation. Information in form of feedback can confirm or disconfirm what the expectations were, which can in turn result in satisfaction or relief, even disappointment or frustration, depending on what the feedback and what the expectations were. This is crucial because using feedback, you can give relief or give awareness or give frustration to the user in, let's say, user experience terms. This is a response to good understanding and knowledge, or failed plan which cannot be fixed. So satisfaction and relief is a response to good understanding and knowledge, whereas disappointment or frustration is a result of failed plan which cannot be fixed. And that's why undo is a very important feature. Thus, feedback is essential in managing expectation as it is knowledge of results. That's a very significant term used. Feedback is defined as knowledge of results. Please take a note of that. If you can, put it somewhere very significant. Put it like a sticky note on your wall and all those things. Tattoos are fun. All right. Next. Okay, this is a little annoying. All right, what goes on in the reflective level? That's the next question. So, I kind of gave you a hint on what is a reflective level. This is where we use our cognition. This is where this is the part of your cognition that you use to balance or not spill water. This is very conscious cognition, needs deep understanding, causes you use it for reasoning and decision making. It's very deep and very slow. It happens as a reflection. It does not happen in the moment. It happens as a form of evaluation of circumstances, actions, outcomes. And you often assign blames or praises during this stage. And this is where emotions come from. Also, this is where predictions are made. So, the pattern matching part and the prediction part, there is a overlap of visceral, behavioral, and reflective, because pattern matching needs kind of visceral and prediction needs reflective. All right, that is the three levels. Now, very important question: which level should designers focus on? If anyone in the chat would like to answer this question. All right. Currently, I think everybody is being a little shy. If you are watching this after the stream, pause the video, put a comment, and see what the answer is. All right. So, the level for which designers should focus on is actually all of them. As we already discussed, the visceral level helps you with the attractiveness and repulsion. It's very quick. You like something or you don't. And now depends, if you need to, then you will use it. If you can't, you won't. That's a visceral thing to do. So visceral is also important. Behavioral is also important, because while using, if it is not usable, if you're having trouble understanding, that's a problem. So you have to design for behavioral as well. The third one, reflective. Why is it important to design for reflective level? Because reflection is where you do something and then you recall it. You recall on the things or the chain of events that happen. You recall the emotions. You recall the other two levels as well, the visceral and the reflective. Reflection is very important because this is what you use to suggest other people to use a product, and it is stored in your memory for a longer time. If during an experience your visceral response was overwhelming and your behavioral response was not that bad but pretty bad, visceral will be assigned a higher value by your reflective brain. And that is why attractive things are said to work better. And that's the law of UX, where you say, oh, aesthetic usability law. So anything that is aesthetically pleasing, automatically you say, oh, it's very nice. And this is a result of your reflective brain assigning more value to visceral responses than to behavioral responses. So you have to balance all three levels. All right. So, all right. This was 25 minutes. Uh, I will wait for any questions on this discussed. Okay. I think there is still people who are shy right now. That is okay. Okay. Okay then. That's all for today. See you next week where we will discuss how the levels of human processing are related to the 7 stages of action. You kind of would have gotten a hint, and then we'll try to finish by the second topic, which is the 7 stages of actions, which how they translate to 7 fundamental design principles. So next stream we will be closing this, and then we'll move on to the next knowledge in the head and in the world. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the likes. Good night.